Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing my March book haul. I have a lot of books here that I have gathered, that I have procured over the past week or so. So let's just go straight into it. And of course, I have this one. She just recently learned how to go up and down the stairs and it's like a whole new world for her. So I can't stop her. I can't. So the first book that I'm going to start with, these are actually from the thrift store. I recently discovered a thrift store right by my job where paperbacks are 50 cents and hardcovers are $1, which is amazing because even in thrift stores nowadays, books will be more expensive than that, like at least $2 or $3, which is still an amazing deal, but for 50 cents and $1, you can't go wrong. The first one that I got is by Mary Higgins Clark, and she is known as the Queen of Suspense. I already have a handful of her books. I haven't read one of her books for a really long time, but I just remember feeling genuinely scared. So I just saw these and they were for 50 cents, so I had to get them. And yeah, maybe I'll start collecting her books because I know that she has a lot of them. So this one is called Moonlight Becomes You. And then the second one that I got by Mary Higgins Clark is called You Belong to Me. So again, I already have a handful and now I'm just adding to my collection. The next one I got is called Almonds and Raisins by Maisy Moscow. She is the best-selling author of Out of the Ashes, which I haven't heard of. This book, it seems like it's a family saga type novel. It's about two families that are as different as night and day, and they recount through the First World War how they form a strong fiery friendship that would shape the destinies of 3 generations. So yeah, overall seems like a very family oriented war story type thing, which had me interested. It's called Almonds and Raisins. I like that title too. It's very, I don't know, makes me hungry. The next one is, which is very exciting, Mitch Albom's The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. And if you watch my last video, or the one before that, I literally said I need to buy this book again because I had lost my copy and I had just finished reading the sequel to this. So I got this for $1, which is amazing. I don't know who would have donated this, but thank you very much. Your loss is my gain. I am so excited. I'm gonna read this again. If you don't know who Mitch Albom is, I highly recommend starting off with like this book or Tuesdays It's Maury. Honestly, his books are across the board just fitting and heartwarming for every age and like any stage of life. So I'm so excited to reread this. The next one I got is called Night by Elie Wiesel, and this is his own recount of his time in the concentration camps at World War II. I think we had to read this during school at one point, but honestly, like I can't remember it at all, and I just wanted to have this because I definitely want to reread it, so this one. And then the next one I got is very interesting to me. It's called Crescent by Diana Abu Jaber. It is about a woman who is 39, never married, and living in the Arab American community of Los Angeles. She has a passion for cooking and works contently in a Lebanese restaurant. She meets a guy, a handsome professor of Arabic literature in Iraqi exile, who comes to the restaurant. She falls in love and she starts questioning everything she thought she knew about Hanil, as well as her own torn identity as an Arab American. So this one just really seems like one where you're kind of discovering your own identity in regard to your culture. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. She's going crazy right now. This one just seems really interesting to me. I've never heard of this book. It's called Crescent. So yeah. The last one that I got from the thrift store is called Confessions of an Ugly Stepsister by Gregory Maguire. If you don't know who Gregory Maguire is, he's actually the author of Wicked, which is now the super popular Broadway show. I was really excited to find this because I really like flip side perspectives in books or in movies. I just found this super interesting. So this is the flip side perspective of the ugly stepsister in Cinderella. And I actually have the Wicked book too. The cover is similar to this, except it had like the little green witch in the middle, but I think my dog chewed out that cover. It says, "We have all heard the story of Cinderella, the beautiful child cast out to slave among the ashes, but what of her stepsisters, the homely pair exiled by the fame of their lovely sibling? What fate befell these untouched by beauty, and what curses accompanied Cinderella's looks?" So yeah, I'm excited to read this. I remember I actually did enjoy Wicked, and then I had the chance to watch it because my friend had bought tickets, and it was like everything I wanted and more. Maybe they'll make a show out of this one. Oh, and what's also interesting is that I think he does this for a lot of like famous fairy tale stories, because I was at Barnes and I saw Wicked and this book, and he had a few other ones too, which I found really interesting because I just haven't heard of him, and I didn't realize that he did it for you know, more than just Wicked. I had to kick my dog out. She's just wild. So the next batch that I have are ones that I've ordered from Amazon, and I think one I picked up at a Barnes. The first one is The Undomestic Goddess by Sophie Kinsella. If you don't know by now, Sophie Kinsella is one of my favorite authors, and I just want to have all of her books. So I've been slowly collecting all of them again. This one I have read before a long time ago. I don't even remember what it's about. The next one is called The Immortal List by Chloe Benjamin. This one I picked up because I read the back and it just had me hooked from the beginning. It's basically about a family of 4 children who go to see a psychic who's known to be able to accurately guess when you're gonna die and what age you're gonna die. So these 4 siblings, they sneak out without their parents knowing, and they go see the psychic, and one by one she tells them supposedly how they're gonna die and how old they're gonna be when they're gonna die. So that's how the story begins. I'm only still in like the first part. I believe there are different parts of the story, and it's gonna tell the recount of each child. When I read the back, it probes the line between destiny and choice, reality and illusion, this world and the next. It is a deeply moving restatement to the power of story, the nature of belief, and the unrelenting pull of familial bonds. Had me hooked. Had me hooked. It's a New York Times bestseller, The Immortal List by Chloe Benjamin. And also, I really like the cover. Look how pretty it is. And it's soft. The next one is called The Secret Book and Scone Society. I am really excited to read this one because it is basically a murder mystery type book set within the setting of a book club, which is amazing. I really like books that talk about food, but I also really like books that talk about books, or if it's set in like a library setting or a book club setting. I think those books are always really, really good. One of the reviews is, anyone who loves novels that revolve around books will savor this tasty treat. I think that got me too. So this, I believe, is the first book, and then there's another one called The Whispered Word. So if I enjoy this, then I'll definitely get that. The next one is The Tattooist of Auschwitz. It's about a guy who works as a tattooist, tasked with permanently marking his fellow prisoners. He witnesses horrific atrocities and barbarism, but also incredible acts of bravery and compassion. One day he meets a young woman to have the number tattooed onto her arm, and he vows to survive the camp and marry her. So it's a love story between them two, and also obviously, you know, a huge challenge because he's a tattooist for the Germans. Oh my gosh. Is this a true story? I just discovered this. I think it's an actual true story. It says a vivid, harrowing, and ultimately hopeful recreation of Leil Sokolov's experiences as the man who tattooed the arms of thousands of prisoners. She was introduced to Leil Sokolov, who entrusted her with the innermost details of his life during the Holocaust. Oh my gosh. I can already tell I'm gonna cry during this novel. It says, and the only reason why I just like realized that is because on the back there's a quote. It says, I tattooed her number on her left hand and she tattooed her number in my heart. It says he said that in an interview with the author. Wow, this is amazing. I'm so stupid. It says based on the powerful true story. I didn't even realize. You know what it is? It's because it says true story of love and survival. I didn't realize that the character was actually based on a real person. Wow. Tattooist. The next one that I got is The Secret Diary of Hendrick Growin, 83 1/4 years old. I love books with ridiculous titles. They always turn out to be the best. So this one, the first thing that got me is the title and the cover. It's just so, it's so quirky. As a description, Hendrick Growin is elderly, but at age 83 1/4, this feisty, indomitable curmudgeon has no plans to go out quietly with an eccentric group of friends. He founds the wickedly old but not dead yet club. Rule number 3, no whining allowed, turning himself into an unlikely hero. And when a sweet and sassy widow moves in next door, he polishes his shoes, grooms what's left of his hair, and determines to savor every ounce of joy in the time he has left with hilarious and tender consequences. And I don't know, it's just, the synopsis is already so heartwarming. It totally got me. I love books like this. And then the last thing that I was like, all right, take my money, was the review where it says, for fans of A Man Called Ove comes another #1 best-selling phenomenon that has captured imaginations around the world. And A Man Called Ove, I'll do a review of it another time, but it's one of my favorite books. Okay, I feel like I say that about every single book where I'm like, oh, it's some of my top 10 or it's one of my favorite, but it's because I love so many books. A Man Called Ove is by Frederick Bachman, who is not the author, right? Wait, what the heck? Where's the author of this? I can't figure out who the actual author is because it says translated by Hester Velmans, and the reason I say is it the same author as the person who wrote A Man Called Ove? Because I know that Frederick Bachman is not an American author. The last 2 books that I got are actually leadership type books, which I also really enjoy reading. The first one is called The Power of Habit. This one I've heard so many amazing things about. I actually read this, like the first few chapters of it, when I was at a Barnes randomly one time. It was like so interesting to me. It's really just basically about the power of habit and how the first few chapters talked about like the biological components of habit in our brains and in our bodies, and it was just so interesting to me. So I think this is going to be a really good book. And then the next one is called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. It is the 10th anniversary edition, over 1 million copies sold. And then I just actually remembered there's one more book that hasn't arrived yet that I ordered. It's called All the Missing Girls. It's also a mystery murder suspense novel. I forgot who it's by, but I believe it's about a group of girls who like go to a carnival and then someone gets murdered. I don't know. It sounds really creepy now that I'm talking about it. I'm kind of questioning why I bought it. I do like mystery, but that just sounds outright horrific. But I think I remember I read the back and I thought it was gonna be a good read. That is all, my friends. I will say I did not even finish my February TBR. I have a lot of books to read, but that's okay. So yes, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye!